All right, so the first question that I get from almost anyone who's kind of getting started with social media, or maybe they're looking to really 10x their social media presence, is how do we measure the success of social media specifically within a B2B context? We don't get as many kind of shares or the viralness of social media as the B2C world, and it is tougher to convert people from social media alone for B2B industries. So, how do you know that what you're doing on social is working and that kind of the early indicators are leading in the right direction? So, I'm just going to walk you through kind of just the general basics that we do here at Socito. I am by no means an expert, but this has kind of helped us at least double our social engagement just in the past month and really increase our traffic by about 50%. So what we're doing is kind of leading us in the right direction. I kind of wanted to share some tips and tricks that we have here and the types of metrics that we look at the top of the funnel, not necessarily all the way down to conversions. So what I'm looking at here is the past 2 weeks of data from all of our social media profiles. So we have across Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook, we have our corporate handles as well as many of our employees, our CEO, myself, even some of our software engineers have handles hooked up to social that we're running through marketing. We're posting directly on their behalf, as well as encouraging them to post for us through some employee advocacy, right? So this is all the posts that we're looking at, and here are all the various campaigns that we've been running over the past 2 weeks, different types of content. So the first thing that I'm looking at, of course, besides the total number of posts that we've sent out in these past 2 weeks, I'm really looking at how many clicks am I getting? And it's kind of generally related to traffic that we're driving to our website. Now, obviously, some of these are going to third-party sites, so it's not an exact match, but I can use analytics to tell me exactly what traffic I'm driving from social. But when I'm looking at the social media metrics, I'm really looking in general. It's kind of my early indicator for how much traffic I'm going to expect to come to my website from social. But we know there's a big halo effect to social media as well. It's not just about who we're directly driving to our website from a tweet. It's really about who are we influencing and encouraging to come to our website later on. And that's where some of these engagement metrics come in. Of course, how many eyeballs are coming to everything we post, but really how many likes are we getting, how many shares, who's interacting with us. And we see when our engagement rate increases on social media, we see a lift in organic search traffic and word of mouth traffic as well. And that's where those conversions are actually coming way down the funnel. So we might not have direct attribution from social to a conversion into a trial or a demo, but what we do get is a strong correlation in terms of these social media top of funnel metrics and what's actually predictable down the funnel. So on a weekly basis, I'm kind of coming in here and looking at these metrics to see how we're doing and trending over time. And so, of course, the first place that I'm looking at are my clicks, right? Because I really care about what traffic I'm driving. And so I'm going to go ahead and let me look at the rates here. And so we can see there's certain campaigns that are really just performing much better than my baseline over the past 2 weeks. This post here, this is one from our blog ourselves, which is really great. This is kind of our top click-through post. And this is just a roundup post of different social media managers giving their advice on why social works for B2B. Pretty simple post for us to put together. And all this social campaign is a bunch of tweets scheduled out with quotes from each of these leaders. So we embedded the quote into an image that was shared in the tweet, and then the tweet itself had a link back to this post. Pretty simple, really engaging, great topic for social media. And we can see that not only are we getting a higher reach every time we post on this, we're actually driving traffic directly from it. And the engagement rate, this is actually our highest engagement post from the past week as well. So no surprise that it's getting the most impressions. And we can correlate the fact that this post itself is getting a ton of organic search traffic. Now, it's not necessarily ranking on SEO, but where that search traffic is coming from is a bunch of people actually searching for this post after they've engaged with it on social media. So really great metrics here. Obviously, this is still early, but if you look at, in fact, we're getting 22 clicks off of just 26 posts. There's definitely room to expand here. I'm nowhere near kind of my max in terms of how much I can post on this, given all the different handles we have, all the different networks we're posting in, and the fact that we have several variations of just this one piece of content. Another really cool thing to see here is that this case study from SalesWings, one of our customers, is performing much better than the baseline and much better than any other case study we're promoting. Quantum Listing and Go Animate are the two closest, but they're still well below the baseline for our clicks per post and even our engagement rates. In fact, most of our case studies down here at the bottom really just not performing very well at all. And so we see that case studies have a tough time on social, but one reason why this one's performing particularly well in both clicks as well as kind of the engagement rate here is that we're really highlighting the person behind this case study. So Ina is their digital marketing manager. So we have her face kind of in the tweet. We have quotes directly from her, really highlighting her use case, speaking directly to that social media digital marketing manager audience about what they care about. So it's really resonating with people. We see that here in how often it's getting clicked and how often it's getting shared. So that's really good to see. So obviously everything that's kind of above the line here is honestly looking really, really healthy, and I want to continue to promote. The one that maybe needs a little bit more work here is 10 tips for direct messaging new prospects. Really great topic. People are clicking through on it. A little bit below the baseline for shares. So I might need a more engaging tweets. This is actually kind of an older one, so it's probably getting a little stale now. So if I update it with some fresh imagery, maybe some new quotes, this one might be a really quick one to revamp and then continue to promote. If we look at what's not performing well, see some things that I want to take out immediately here. So what's really interesting, let's take a look at this one real quick. This is a third-party article on Neil Patel's blog. We were actually mentioned in it. We were one of the 6 lazy marketing tips to automate your social media. Doing about average on our impressions here. We're underperforming on clicks, but we're overperforming on shares. So what does this tell me? Well, this is probably a good one to continue promoting regardless. The clicks I don't care about as much on this one because it is driving to a third-party article. But our name is in it. We have some quotes in these tweets that mention us specifically. So it's getting shared, it's getting some buzz on social, and people are seeing our name next to kind of Neil Patel as an influencer. So this is a great one to continue to promote, even though it's a little bit below the baseline here on just the clicks alone. This one is really interesting to me. So, total engagement rate, not doing horrible compared to the baseline. Impressions, not doing horrible here. The click-through rate is really low. This is one blog post that we did ourselves where we kind of did a roundup of different social media posts. We highlighted some of our customers, highlighted some influencers that did social campaigns really well for B2B this year. This post performed super well for the first week that we started promoting it, but over time it's kind of slipped quite a bit, and so now our click-through rate is pretty low on it. And you see just how much I've had to post it just to get those 81 clicks. So we're really kind of saturating our Twitter feeds with this post. So this is one to start to kind of dial back a little bit. It's great evergreen content. Maybe we bring it back at some point, but really we've pretty much worked through the audience on this one. So given that the clicks keep declining, so I'm definitely going to kind of scale back on this one a little bit unless I can find a better way to repurpose it. And if we look down here all the way kind of at the bottom, this is one that we wrote right after Oracle Open World happened about a month ago, and it performed super well at the time, still getting a ton of impressions, still getting a ton of shares and engagements, but look at that click-through rate, just not good. So it's really resonating with the audience itself, but Oracle's over. No one wants to really read a recap post anymore. It's pretty late to the game at this point. So this is probably one to scratch at this point. Great content. Keep it in the file for next year, do it at the next event, but I definitely don't need to keep promoting this one. Now you'll see we have some that are product specific in here. So we have one that's actually promoting our trial. In fact, this is a cheat sheet for our trial. This is how to find leads video about kind of the setup in the trial. These ones at the top are doing okay for a product video, under the baseline, but not too bad. And this one itself has actually been picking up over the past week. Compared to, all over the place, this one down here, keyword suggestion, this is one of our features. And look at that, click-through rate's really low. Yeah, shares are a little bit above the average because I started doing some GIFs in this tweet. So I'm actually showing how the tool works in a short little GIF. So people are retweeting it and sharing it, which is awesome. But people aren't really clicking through it. So I need to find a better storyline for this. Continue using those GIFs, but gotta find a better way to actually get people to click on this and view, want to try it out, right? But we can tell that product promotion itself does work on Twitter. We just have to do it in a clever way. So this one's a video, right? So it's doing better than some of the other product ones that this one's just kind of a blog post. And this one's more of just a direct call to action for a trial, which again, not bad considering kind of it's very promotional on social, but some work to do here. Again, those GIFs are really working, so I probably want to put that into some of my other strategies here and try it out on some other campaigns. Overall, though, we are making progress. Just a week ago, this was closer to 0.4, so now our clicks per post are coming up to 0.5. Kind of industry standards, I really want to be closer to about 1 click per post in the B2B space, right? B2B SaaS. Again, it's super saturated on social, not quite as engaging. Our audience isn't retweeting us as much, isn't clicking as much. So we're not going to see it go much higher than 1 click per post, but we're trending in the right direction ourselves. I would love to get some other tips or tricks from you guys, so feel free to reach out to me and at adam@socito.com, and you can check out some other resources we have at socito.com. And hopefully this is kind of how you're looking at social media at the top of the funnel. And if it's not, we'd love to chat about how we can help you with that. All right, thanks everyone.